Hello everybody, this is Ice Ninja here. I'm going to be showing you today what you can do with the, pretty much what my last video covered, which was getting pixels quickly. At least this is something that I did and can give you maybe inspiration for a project of your own. Uh, just because previously we were just getting pixels and displaying them, and so you could honestly have just displayed the buffered image, so I hope that didn't confuse anybody. But it's more a means to an end, and then now we're going to be covering that end, and I'm going to be trying to do it a little bit faster. Last time I think I got sidetracked and took 30 minutes, so hopefully this time we do not go over as far. So let's get started. Um, Basically, the main difference is I'm not going to be coding in this video. I already did a lot of the code, or every bit of coding. I will be going over each part I changed, though, hopefully. So at the start, we have array of colors, and colors is another class I created, actually. So let's start, I guess, here. This is mostly just, it holds information, um, holds an alpha, red, green, blue. The alpha defaults to 255. It has a constructor where you can pass in everything or just pass in RG and B if there's no alpha. Right now, this is really the only one I use. Then we have the get pixel integer, which pretty much does the same thing we were doing with ARGB in the last video to get the pixel values from the bytes that we were getting from the where you pretty much combine all the values, shift them over, and then OR them with 8 bytes of 0. Am I tripping? 4 bytes of 0. Sorry. Um, However many bytes are an int of zeros, and then you OR them with about, yeah, 4. Um, with the values of each of these. Then we also have a get color distance. So basically, it gets the distance between this color and the color you pass in, pretty much. You can also make a different constructor that has just a color, but pretty much for the purposes I'm using it for, we're only creating using this color class to store the theme colors that we're using. Oh, sorry. So for today, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I said this, we're gonna just say it again. We're gonna be putting kind of like themes over pictures. So right now I also have a new image here. This is an image I use on my personal computer, and I'm also gonna be using a theme I use on my personal computer to kind of show you like how I use this. But we still have the two images from last time that I'll also show you this effect on. But basically, I have two themes. We'll just get a sidetrack for a little bit. Teehee. This one pretty much is there's black, white, um, and then different shades of equal parts green and blue, which kind of creates like a light blue-green, like a turquoise effect. And that's just, I like that color. So I have this as like my main theme. This is just a rainbow theme I created when I originally created my program, where I went to Google's color picker and I just went, you know, clicked on random values and then copy paste the hex, repeated that a bajillion times uh, for different colors of the rainbow. I used to have these annotated, and I think I probably deleted it, but pretty much every color has like a dark version, a light version, a pale version, and like a vibrant version. Uh, so we'll be able to see what that gives us. And I think dark, I just have dark and not like uh, black, and I also think I have just a eggshell kind of instead of white. But we're probably going to be using theme 1, so let me set my current theme. This is literally just here for me swapping between these two, because this one will complain about not being utilized when I swap it here, but that was just so I don't have to go through and swap the current theme throughout this little part. Uh, Going back to color to finish that off real quick. So get color distance, it gets the absolute distance between each of these colors, and then it uh, square roots them. Well, sorry, it squares them, adds them all together, and then square roots the sum, and saves that as the distance, and then returns that. I could honestly just return that bit, but for clarity. Then we have the get absolute distance, which just takes two numbers, and whatever the higher number is, it subtracts a lower number from it. That way, it's always going to be positive. All right, let's go on to the main. So yeah, here are themes. They're just arrays of strings of hex values, and here I just parse it. You drop off the initial hashtag, pound sign, or whatever you want to call it. you call parse int using base 16. Take a substring of 1 through 3 because it's not inclusive of the last one. It's inclusive of the first, exclusive of the second number. Uh, so this gets 3 and 4. This gets 5 and 6. Uh, when we're talking about positions here. Um, sorry, and yeah, gets so red would be the first two, then green would be the second two, blue would be the last two. Um, then creates a color with that. So the colors is just pretty much our theme. We have the J-frame. I have a new thing where I have the preferred size. So previously you saw me open the giant image and it was giant. Couldn't even, fit it in. The frame couldn't fit on my monitor. So I was like, let me see if there's a way to fix that. So we have a new little aspect ratio there where it should be perfectly on my screen. And at the same time, I also have it scaled down there, but we'll get to that in a second. That should be the same, should be the same. Uh, same. Yeah, I removed the slow part just because that was mostly for last video. There's no need to, I guess, compare getting the pixels now because now we're mostly focused on setting them. Uh, proof of fast, that's just the name left over from the last video. I guess there's no real proof anymore. It's just the image icon or the image. Um, and this is some code I copied off Stack Overflow for just transforming it and then scaling it, uh, which does cause the test image, the yellow door, to be squashed a little bit, but you can see the full image, which for our purposes, I think should be fine enough. Then you edit and make it visible. This get pixel array should be all the same. Uh, pretty sure this may have been code that I was just messing around with. Oh wait, sorry. So sorry, that is different. And you would apply the same part up here. I just didn't do it because we don't really use anything with alpha channels. But here we have the red, green, blue. So instead of getting all of it and turning into one pixel to return for like the color array, here we get the red, green, blue, and then we pass it to a function that gets the closest color, which returns a color, and then we call get pixel int on that color to get pretty much the equivalent of what this RGB was, and then we save it in the results array. So that's the only changes there. Here we have the get closest color, which takes in, alpha, red, green, blue, and then the theme colors, uh, which right now is honestly I have outside of here. So this could probably just call that directly, but I think I was just mangling with the code a little bit, and originally I was passing it in, and then I was like, it'll just be easier if I put it up there. So honestly, kind of ignore that part, though it is still needed in the function. Then we set the minimum distance to really high number. You probably just do integer dot max or something, max int. Uh, then you get the closest color. This is more of a fallback. Like if for some reason your theme has a color that can't be decoded, maybe you use like things outside of hexadecimal. If you did a bunch of G's, for example, or I guess had a G, it'd probably complain like, "Oh, that color isn't detectable." But I guess it's if every color is not able to be decoded as a color, then it just prints error could not find closest color, default to black, and then it just uses this color. That way, because it guarantees returning a color. I was debating on using an optional, and then I did not care enough to. Uh, then we get for color and theme colors, so we just loop through the colors in our themes. We get a double of the distance by calling get color distance on the theme color and passing in the current color passed in from here. So this is the actual color that is on the image. So for example, it would be like a light green that we pass in here. So we get, 255 alpha, something there, lots of green, something there. And we'd be seeing which of our theme colors that green closely is matched to. Uh, and then we see if that's shorter than the minimum distance. Uh, if it is, we set the minimum distance to that distance and then also save that color. Uh, pretty not crazy stuff. That way we can make sure to find the color in our theme colors that closely matches, or most closely matches the color in our image. given our theme colors, which of course you could just have like black and white, in which case whatever matches green would either be black or white. And this is the same get buffered image from pixel array. So now that that's all said, we're going to be applying theme one, which is this blue theme, onto this city image. So let's go ahead and call or run that. So I honestly, this is I use this theme pretty much. I think I made some slight changes to it, but it's pretty much the same. In my personal laptop, my laptop, they're pretty much it randomizes my wallpaper and then it applies this theme onto it. Um, well, technically, yeah, I have a paper wall folder of wallpapers, and then it runs through that, applies this thing to all of them, then saves it in a separate folder, and then that's the folder that I randomize my wallpaper in. But I just think that it enables, I feel like it maintains the quality of the first image while applying this nice blue hue to it, which I currently have my laptop themed around, so I enjoy it. Uh, so we're gonna move on, trying to be quick about this. Uh, though, if you do have any questions, if I did forget to explain something, please reach out in the comment section below. Let's go. So yeah, the city one I think looks good. I have tested the other two. I do not think these look good, but I guess it's I'm doing it just to show you that it does apply the blue filter or theme or whatever you want to call it to these images. Remember this one's gonna be squashed. It is the door image, and it also is taking a long time because it's huge. But as you can see, do I have it pulled up? So yeah, ignoring the squashed part, pull over, see that, and then you see this. It keeps the shadows pretty well. I think it maintains like some of the hard lines for just the objects in the picture. My only thing is I kind of wish there was some variation instead of just pure white on the door, that we were able to get some of the shadows there. Like this, feels just like it was bleached. Sorry, voice crack. Um, but besides that, I think it's fine. I think it's good enough. Again, this is when you're picking your themes. I have a whole bunch that I use, so I will sometimes swap out the themes for different images. Uh, but you kind of have to just play around with it. And so I'm just going to show you this, and then if that's all you're interested in, you can leave. I'll probably also pull up my GitHub and show you what I actually do. So this is for this image. What I don't like about here is it just kind of bleaches as it gets further back, just gets pure pale white. It technically does that on the city as well, but I think it is a little bit nicer in the city and also a little bit less of a pure white. How you can get around this would be including more colors for it to choose from, because I think it's like, oh, well, there's a lot more red. It does get a lot more red as you kind of go farther back, and instead of blue green, it's like the closest color to this would be pure white. Uh, so if you do want, you can include something with a little bit more of a reddish hue to it, and then that way it would pick that over picking this white. But at the end of the day, like same, with how I created these themes, and also by the way, I believe that changes what I have on my laptop computer. Uh, but yeah, so you just gotta play around with it, and honestly, I have a lot of fun messing around with like creating my little themes. Uh, and if honestly, I might do a video on creating a theme creator using Java's, or I guess Java Swing's color picker uh, thing. Similar to how it has the J label, I believe there's a J color chooser. There we go. Um, so I might go into that and then make it where it's like you can just click around that, click add theme or add to theme, add to theme, add to theme, and then export, and it saves it somewhere. So now if you're just interested in that, you can leave. I do feel like, since I feel like I'm doing y'all a disservice, so this will probably honestly be what takes the video longer than I want it to be. Um, but this is not how I actually code, I guess. And I feel like if you're new to Java, um, this sets a bad precedent that you should include a lot of stuff in main, and maybe just have one other helper class or whatever. But and it's also just having to change your code every time you want to change your theme. So I'm gonna pull up my GitHub right now, and we're gonna go to, so first off in the README we can see that There's a little bit of a CLI or command line interface. It's not good by any means. It literally only has one command where it's Jawal, which is the name of my wallpaper, Java wallpaper conversion thing. So Jawal, then convert, and then the path to your image, and then /t to set the theme, and then the name of your theme. And you set your themes in a config file. Uh, so I do my development on Ubuntu, and so it's in home directory and then a hidden folder config, and you need to create a Jawal and then a config.yaml, and then the YAML file would look something like this. This is a oh sorry. Let me pull up this one. I never showed y'all theme 2. Theme 2 doesn't look good. For reference, let's go ahead. It should be quick. I'll throw it up for the two fast ones. Yeah, this is a rainbow theme I tried to make. As you can see, you get at least it doesn't bleach it white. It does bleach this closer part. Well, not bleach, I guess, but turn it black. Um, but to be fair, it's because I don't have a, I guess, dark blue. Um, and then let's also do the other two real quick. Uh, but as I was going over in my when I was showing you, the reason I guess I was showing you my code was showing that um, you should have a way to, if you plan on doing something like this just for you. Yeah, see, it doesn't look great, but it is just another idea if you want to, try to use it for something else. As I keep interrupting myself, uh, I use Snake YAML. It's a Java library to read in YAML files, and I use that so that I can have a config file. Pretty much, you could use it with like a .txt if you learned in your uh, Java 101 class how to read in a file. You can just read in a txt and then do pretty much the same thing here where you read line by line. Uh, this one looks pretty much the same. Has some purple shading and some of the shadows. I mean, it's fine. Uh, I do have better themes now, but this is just something I copied over rather quickly. But so I guess now you can leave if you aren't interested in this part. But also I have a little warning: do not try to use that to get every file in a directory. But basically, let's go look at the code here, how it's split up and organized. So this is also probably not good. This was just a for fun project, and so I was kind of going crazy and have a bunch of stuff that I don't really use as much as I probably should. But let's go to arg parser. So this parses the command line arguments. Uh, this just prints a help if you do -h or -help. And the only other valid one is if you do convert and then it grabs the file path and then it looks for -t for theme and then sets the theme name, and then it uses the YAML thing to go, uh, yeah, here's where we save the file path and theme name and just a parsed input object. I also use Lombok, which I highly recommend, Lombok, um, to have getters, setters, and a no-arg constructor. What else? Colors the exact same pretty much. Gets color distance, get absolute distance, get pixel int, config manager. This is where we use Snake YAML, pretty much copied off of their documentation. Get file stream with from the file name, so the file name would be config.yml. And then we parse it. You have to give it sorry. So it's a list of the YAML file is just a list of themes, and so you have to create Java objects for everything it's expecting. So list of themes, and then a name as well as a list of colors, which are just hexadecimal strings. Uh, this is just so that when I want to change my themes, I can just go change the conf file instead of having to go mess with code. And then here, uh, I should honestly probably fix this, make it where Windows users can use this as well, or hopefully anybody, where you can like set your own config path or whatnot. But right now, this is just what I have. To get the list of theme colors, we go through the config manager, get theme set, get themes, turn it to a stream, filter by theme name, so it pretty much reads the whole YAML file and only gets the theme that has the matching theme name that you passed in. So for on the README, it said rainbow, um, and then it finds the first instance of that. Hopefully you don't have duplicate names, but if you do, it just find the first. Then it maps, it gets the colors and maps that to a list of colors. Otherwise, it gets an empty list and then returns it here, saved in theme colors. Uh, I have everything in a try catch. Probably not great either, but whatnot. Um, then it gets the file path. Pretty much does the same as before. If it's not absolute path, then you turn it to an absolute path, and then prepends the title of the project JAWAL onto the file. That way, it doesn't overwrite the file. So if the theme doesn't look the way you want to, it doesn't ruin the original image. This is called create themed image. Here's where I have my explanation. That's just a mile long of where I was typing out because I was like staring at it and then it finally like clicked for me and I was like, you know what? Just in case anyone's looking at my code, because I honestly didn't know that there were bitwise like or and bitwise and operators. Or I think I did, but it was just I had never used them before, so I kind of forgot they existed. And then I was like, oh well, here's a good use for them. I forgot they are fast. So uh, if you want to go, I'll try to link my GitHub in the description. If not, it's linked in the description of the previous video. Uh, and it just goes over pretty much why we do what we do and how if you wanted to get uh, the values for certain things instead of just changing the values, that's how you do it. But then besides that, it's the same RGB, pass it into here. Um, there are slight changes from my code to this code. Some of it's better, some of it's worse. For here, I just use image.setRGB, which is what I was hating on. Um, I honestly haven't tested. I've tested the getting RGB. I've not tested setting RGB. I'd imagine this would still be slower. But yeah, so that is it. I'm probably gonna end the video here. Hopefully this was a better experience. I watched the video last time after I posted it and realized that the image text was a little small, so I tried to increase the font. But yeah, if y'all have any suggestions for future videos, let me know.